Something strange is happening in Mississippi. A slow, quiet disappearance that almost nobody outside the state is talking about. Towns are emptying, neighborhoods are fading, and entire communities are slipping into silence. And the reasons why are far more unsettling than you might expect. As we dig into the forces pushing people away, you're going to see a side of Mississippi that rarely makes the headlines. Before we dive deeper into these 8 powerful reasons behind the state's population decline, make sure to like this video, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. One of the biggest reasons so few people stay in Mississippi is the overwhelming brain drain that's been happening for years. Young people grow up there, graduate, and then head straight for places with better jobs, higher pay, and more opportunity. It's not just a feeling. The numbers back it up. Over the last decade, Mississippi has consistently been one of the top states people move away from, especially among college-educated adults in their 20s and 30s. A study from the Mississippi Economic Council found that nearly half of the state's graduates leave within 3 years of finishing school. And the trend isn't slowing down. When you combine low starting wages with limited career pathways in tech, engineering, medicine, and other high-growth fields, it's easy to see why so many talented young people pack up and never return. The result is a shrinking workforce and a cycle that's hard to break. Another major reason people don't stay in Mississippi is the simple reality that jobs are limited and wages lag behind almost every other state. Mississippi has held the title of lowest median household income in the U.S. for years, sitting tens of thousands of dollars below the national average. Many of the jobs available are concentrated in lower-paying sectors like retail, agriculture, and basic manufacturing, which don't offer much long-term growth. Even college graduates often find that the positions in their fields just aren't there, forcing them to look out of state if they want competitive salaries or career advancement. It's not that people don't want to stay, it's that staying can mean sacrificing financial stability. When neighboring states offer higher-paying opportunities just a few hours away, the decision becomes pretty straightforward for many. Move to where the money is. Education is often a deciding factor for families, and unfortunately, Mississippi struggles heavily in this area. For years, the state has ranked near the bottom in national education metrics, from test scores to graduation rates. A big part of the problem is chronic underfunding. Mississippi's schools have repeatedly failed to meet the adequate funding levels required by their own state formula, leaving districts, especially rural ones, short on teachers, resources, and modern facilities. Parents who want better opportunities for their kids often feel they have no choice but to move somewhere with stronger schools. And for teachers, Mississippi offers some of the lowest salaries in the country, making it difficult to retain talented educators. The cycle feeds itself. Fewer resources lead to weaker results, which leads to more families and teachers leaving, which then drains the system even more. Access to health care is something many people take for granted, until it disappears. Mississippi has been facing a full-blown healthcare crisis for years, especially in rural areas. Dozens of hospitals are at risk of closing, and several have already shut their doors, leaving residents with limited or no local medical care. This isn't just inconvenient, it can be dangerous. People often have to drive hours for basic services or emergency treatment. Mississippi also consistently ranks near the bottom in healthcare outcomes, such as life expectancy, infant mortality, and chronic disease rates. Combine that with a shortage of doctors and nurses, and it becomes clear why families, retirees, and even healthcare workers themselves often choose to relocate. Living somewhere without reliable, accessible care is a deal-breaker for many, and Mississippi simply hasn't solved the problem. All right. Before we move on, I want to hear from you. What surprised you the most so far? Have you seen any of these issues yourself? Or do you think there's a different reason people are leaving Mississippi? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I actually read through them, and your ideas often shape what I cover next. And if you're enjoying the video or learning something new, it only takes a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you think, and lets me know you want deeper dives like this one. Mississippi has the highest poverty rate in the United States, and that kind of long-term economic hardship shapes everything else. When a state's economy struggles, it affects job creation, wages, housing, schools, healthcare, the entire ecosystem of everyday life. Many communities, especially in the Delta region, have been dealing with generational poverty for decades with little improvement. Businesses are less likely to invest in areas where purchasing power is low, which means fewer new companies, fewer jobs, and fewer reasons for people to stay. Economic growth tends to concentrate in small pockets, leaving much of the state behind. For residents, this creates a sense of being stuck, with limited mobility and limited opportunity. Moving out becomes a way to break the cycle, especially for people who want upward mobility or a more stable financial future. Mississippi's climate can be intense, and not in a good way. The state deals with frequent hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes, and scorching heat, often all in the same year. Some coastal areas face repeated storm damage, making insurance costs skyrocket and property values unstable. Inland regions aren't much better. The state is part of Tornado Alley's eastern edge, meaning severe storms are a regular occurrence. Flooding has become increasingly common due to aging infrastructure and changing weather patterns, leaving many towns underwater more often than people would like to admit. For residents, this isn't just about discomfort. It's about safety and money. Constant repairs, high insurance premiums, and the risk of losing everything in a storm make other states with milder climates far more appealing. Over time, many people simply decide it's not worth the stress. When people think about moving somewhere new, they often look for vibrant cities, entertainment, career networking, cultural diversity, and things to do. Mississippi, however, doesn't really offer major urban hubs that attract young professionals or large companies. Jackson, the largest city, has struggled with infrastructure issues, declining population, and limited economic development. Other towns are significantly smaller, lacking the amenities and energy of cities like Atlanta, Nashville, or New Orleans, all of which are close enough to lure Mississippi residents away. The result is that people often feel there just isn't much happening. Nightlife, arts, public transportation, tech scenes, all the major pull factors for modern workers, are either limited or missing entirely. While Mississippi has charm and culture, the lack of urban momentum makes it difficult to retain people who crave a faster-paced or more opportunity-rich lifestyle. Finally, infrastructure, especially water systems, has become a major reason many people no longer want to live in Mississippi. Jackson's water crisis made national headlines when residents were left without safe drinking water for weeks. But the problem extends far beyond the capital. Many small towns face aging pipes, unreliable water pressure, boil notices, and sewage problems. Roads and bridges are also in poor condition, with hundreds classified as unsafe or in desperate need of repair. These issues don't just inconvenience people, they impact businesses, schools, hospitals, and daily life on every level. When basic infrastructure isn't reliable, it creates frustration and uncertainty. Families and companies want stability, and many feel they can't count on it in Mississippi. Over time, these systemic problems push residents toward states where the basics, clean water, dependable roads, functioning utilities, aren't constant concerns. So those are the 8 major forces driving people out of Mississippi, a complex mix of economic struggles, fading opportunities, and real-world challenges that can't be ignored. Whether the state can turn things around is still a big question, and honestly, the next decade will decide everything. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who loves exploring these deeper conversations about the places we live. Thanks for watching, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.